Welcome back, guys. If you'll see here, we got a new project going. Yeah, it's old. Matter of fact, this tiller is older than me. So yeah, it's pretty old. Um, it is a 1970-ish, so early 70s model Wizard tiller that was sold at Western auto stores, as you can read on the labels there. This tiller was bought locally in a town pretty close by where I live and was used in that town. Now, look at the appearance, it looks pretty rusty and everything. But I'm going to tell you guys, I see a lot of potential here. Take a look at the labels on it. Those decals look pretty good. Those are original decals. Those are not decals that somebody bought and put on later on. Those come from the factory that way. The knob is there for the reverse and neutral forward. Yes, this tiller has reverse on it. That was a luxury back then. It's got a 5-horse Briggs and Stratton motor on it. And as you can tell, it's got the Go Faster muffler. Yeah, as you can hear, my live audience is in the back. They're here. And what we're going to do is we're going to tear into this thing. We're going to get into it, get in the weeds on it, see if we can get it running. Our goals for this video, okay, and this video only, is I want to see if we can get it running. Now, what we're going to start out doing is we're going to do a compression test. I want to know how good this engine is. I was told by the previous owner that it had been rebuilt. I take none of that. I just take that at words value. I want to know myself. So we're going to go in here and we're going to check the compression. I just say what we do is squirt a little carburetor cleaner off in there, see if we can get it running. If we can get it running relatively easy, we're going to try to take care of a few other issues. But I'm thinking that we're going to take us a while to get this thing running. So let me get some stuff ready and I'll come back. First things first, let's grab this spark plug out. If you will notice this little tab here, it goes over and back. This is your kill switch. This is how we was raised when I was younger. That was the kill switch. We didn't need no lever up here that was safety conscious. No, we just touched that little thing over to the block and, got the shock of your life. So, yeah, kids. Gonna like that one. Oh, that was pretty easy. What do y'all think? Y'all think it's gummed up? Let's just take a look. It's not bad. I think it's runnable. It looks a little moist. Yep. So, for y'all younger kids, go ahead and let y'all know that this is a valve and block engine, they call it. So the valves are in the block and not inside the head. This is what I grew up with as a kid. Yeah. So, this is what I cut my teeth on as a kid, working on. There we go. Let's go ahead and get this air filter off so we can peer down inside this carburetor. Plus, let's take a look at the air filter and see if it's, usable or not. Ooh. Yeah, see these things, that wasn't filtering. Oh yeah, it's just petrified. Just look. It's just petrified. So we'll have to get, oh yeah, look at that. That's special. We'll have to get a new one of those. That would have went up inside the motor. That would have been awesome. Guys, look at that. There is still the instructions and stuff to clean the element on this thing. This is how we rocked back when I was a kid. They actually told you how to fix stuff. Nowadays, you got to take it to a mechanic. You see? This right here, right beside the hot exhaust, is your choke. You pull it out, chokes, push it back in, and it unchokes the motor. Yeah, that was fun. Our carburetor is freed up. See, it moves. Runs down to the governor. All the linkages are hooked up. It does feel like it's working properly. Okay. This right here is going to be your idle air jet. And these tanks, I'm going to have to kind of go off into this some. These don't have a bowl, per se. These have a bowl in the tank. And the carburetor non-stop pumps fuel up into that bowl, where the bowl has little slots cut in it. And those slots allow the fuel to dump back over into the fuel tank. So it's always pumping fuel. And how that pumps is by your crankcase. As your piston goes up and down, it creates a vacuum and a compression in that crankcase. And it's very slight. It's not a whole lot. But it's enough to work a diaphragm up here. So I'm going to try to get you a little closer and show you these rubber pieces. If they're not healthy, you're not going to be pumping much fuel because it requires them to have a good seat. Okay, so as that crankcase, as that piston goes up and down in the motor, it creates a vacuum and a pressurization inside that crankcase. That causes this tube right here to vacuum, has a vacuum and a pressurization in it. And what that does is that works your pump, which is right here. As it works that pump, it pumps fuel from the tank into the bowl. The bowl fills up, and that's essentially your bowl that you would normally have on a regular carburetor. Some people call it overcomplicated, and I kind of agree with them some, but on a product like this was kind of what they had to go with back in the day. This was, you know, pretty modern technology to an extent. But this right here, this is petrified. It is solid. And right down here, I know it's going to be solid also. So we're going to have to wind up replacing those before we get too many hours on this thing. I already know that. Yep. Okay. So before we go any further, I want to pull this gas cap off and I want to look down here and see what this tank looks like. These old tanks are metal. And these caps will rust on here. Get my pliers. These caps get rusted on here. They get kind of a rust lock to them. So, because they're both metal. So, I'm not looking for a lot in here. First of all, look at the cap. Yeah, what I was expecting. I'm already feeling rust in there. I'm gonna get a light. We're gonna see what we can see up in there. I don't know if y'all can see in there. There's a slight bit of rust in the bottom of it. Let's just see. Yeah. There's some rust in the bottom of it. You know, I venture to say we can probably clean this tank up. What I'm worried about is that bowl. If that bowl's rusted out, then we're done for. Can you see it? No. This is where one of those scopes will come in handy. Yeah. Here at the LSD garage, we don't have that kind of fancy equipment. Okay, well, let's move on. Whew, man, that gas coming out, the smell of that gas in there, it smells like straight up varnish. Yes. We're going to take care of that gas tank before we do any real major running of this thing. It smells like, whew, smells like paint thinner and Mmm. Sour tacos. Yeah. I say next we pull it over and just see what's going on with the engine. You know, just see what's happening. Let's just pull on it. I know I'm pulling this thing a few times, and this has already got a problem that I know we're going to have to address and fix. That is, it's sticking on the recoil. And it's an easy fix. We're just going to have to probably wind up fixing it. But let's go ahead. Oh, man, I got to put that gas cap back on. That's going to make me throw up. Man, that is stout. I mean, that is pungent. At least try to keep some of that smell out. So let's go ahead, check the oil. Has plenty of oil. Always a plus. And it looks clean too. I'll let you get in a little closer there. Looks clean. Yep. So the plus on these carburetors is essentially they're an updraft carburetor, which means that if it floods, it just flows back into the tank. Whereas on most new mowers, if you leave the gas turned on, sometimes it will fill the crankcase up with gasoline. You can't do that on these. Won't happen. Because you're literally pumping the fuel up. Man, I'm going to tell you what. They had a special today on this taco truck that pulled up down the road. So, you know, my live audience is kind of, they going a little crazy about it. They're really excited about it. So, you're going to have to hear them. Okay. So let's go ahead and pull this thing over some. Yeah. See what I mean? It's sticking. Okay. Yeah, I ain't gonna deal with that. We're gonna have to fix that. Let me finish this. There's 3 bolts that hold this thing on. One on top and one at the bottom on each side. The ones on the bottoms, they're a little tricky to get to. I forgot I got my new toy. So, hang on. I got this little wrench, and it kind of bends a little bit. Allows you to put that socket in areas where you couldn't have done before. Whew, almost lost that one. Yeah. Wow. That dude's on there. There's that one. And that one. Go ahead and put those. Where's my tray? There we go. Now, see if this will come off here. See? There's any, oh yeah. Look. We got some special guests. Yeah. Oh yeah. Whoo! This would have made a bad day for somebody. Yeah. That right there would have been a bad day for somebody. Let's just let y'all zoom in there and see this little house that we have here. They had quite the residence going. Yeah, quite the residence going there. Yeah. You've been evicted. Eviction notice. You must leave the premises immediately. Well, that's that. This is the problem that normally happens. This right here. And that one's not sticking too bad. Huh. Let's take a look in here. It's in here. So do you see all that? It's been damaged. Yeah. I believe what needs to happen is we got to pull that out, and we're going to have to lubricate that behind it. There's a spring back there, so this is really not going to be fun. I've never had good luck with those. But normally, in the past, when they catch and they don't want to go back in no more, it's because of right here. There's a little hole in the end, and you can squirt some lube in there. There's a felt pad behind it, and it will put oil on that shaft and allow it to turn. But this one's turning pretty easily, so I'm not going to sit there and say that's the problem. I can push it with my skewer. I mean, pretty easy. So we're back. We're on the bench. I'm going to try an old school trick first. Use a little WD-40. We're going to squirt it around. Just kind of drench it with WD-40 and just see if that helps it. Oh, yeah. Woo, woo. Okay, but if you'll take a look right there, see how it's wanting to cock out? That's not good. We can't be having that. Can you see these tabs? Bam, bam, bam. Somebody's been in here before and they bent these tabs out. Yeah. We just need to hammer them in some. So, we're going to grab a little screwdriver here. And something I can use as a hammer because it don't take much. And we're just going to kind of tap, tap, tap-a-roo on these. Yep. 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 Okay. There's that. Okay. I think I might have fixed that problem. But just for good measure, you know, just a little bit more in there. Never hurt. while we got it here, I want to discuss something that's very critical. Okay. I'm getting that stuff all over my... There we go. Okay. If you will take a look right here, can you see it? I don't know if it's showing up or not. There's a number right here. Okay. Can you see that number? Let's see if it's coming through or not. Okay. That is the identification number for Briggs and Stratton. There used to be a label right here, but this is what's stamped into this case. This is why I'm always saying, don't throw these away. Try to make these last. Make these work. Because you need that number. Right here. 75. That says 75 right there. That means that this engine was made in 1975. Okay? So it's a little older than me. Not by much, but a little bit. A little bit older. The other numbers, I couldn't tell you what they mean. I could research them and tell you, but I know that those two numbers right there tell me that it's a 1975 model. Yep. Just thought that was kind of cool. So we go ahead and show you all that now. So we know that we're dealing with probably this motor sat on the shelf for a year, which means that it was probably bought in 76. And if it was bought in 76, then, you know, it makes it, what, 48 years old this year? Yeah. So, 48-year-old tiller. And we're going to try to get it running. We're going to check it for spark real quick. Just to make sure we got spark. Now, guys, normally I would just throw some fuel down the carburetor and just, you know, fire it away. But I really kind of want to go through the steps on this one. Turn you a little bit there. There you go. So, contact. Did it do anything? Oh, it did? Okay, good. Okay, so we turn the lights off so we can get a little better understanding of how bright this light is. How much spark does it actually have? Oh, yeah. Y'all see that? Yeah, we got spark. Turn the lights back on. Now, guys. Now, guys, we're going to unhook this. Unhook this. And we're going to check our compression. So let's go ahead and check our compression now. Let's take our spark plug in. Should turn very easily now. Get it out of the way. Oh, yeah. And she's engaged. Huh. Oh. Yeah, she's engaged. Take that off. Yeah. That would have been horrible. Let's make sure. Oh, yeah. There we go. Now, this thing has probably got a compression release on it, if I had to guess. So we're going to be looking for anything around the 60 PSI mark. Anything close, and I'll be happy with it. Hang on, let me get this out of the way to where we can all see it. It's upside down, I understand, but let's see if we can. stay. Okay. That's as close as we're going to get. Are y'all ready? Let's see what she does. 60 psi all day. That's what I like to see. Got the pressure off. So that tells us that we got compression. And that tells us that we got spark. If we introduce some fuel to this thing, it should fire up and run. Yeah, should. Whew, man, that fuel, I'm going to tell you what, y'all understand. Okay, guys, so theoretically, if I squirt some starting fluid down inside that carburetor, this thing should fire up. I do not like the smell of that fuel in that tank. Okay? I don't like nothing about that. So I say before we do anything else, let's get that fuel tank off of there. Get the carburetor off of there. If that fuel smells that bad, I'm pretty sure that carburetor is going to be gummed up. We'll take it over the table, take the carburetor off, and get a better inspection of what that bowl looks like and the carburetor looks like. Okay. So let me go ahead and kind of get you in a better angle, and I'll turn it back on. Okay, guys, I tilt the tiller on its side because there's a bracket right here. You see it? There's a bolt right there. We got to take that bolt out to get this fuel tank off. Yeah, that's going to be fun. So, I think I want to bend this fender down some. I bet you they're kind of pliable, and I'll bend it a little bit down and see if I can't get to it. I don't know if y'all are going to get a good angle on this. I'm trying to film and do this the same space. So let's just see how this works. Bending it down. Oh, it was loose. Well, that was good. Well, I'm ever glad that sucker was loose. There's that bolt. Go ahead and put it in our bolt bin, bolt tray. Now I gotta take this off right here. Let me get a socket for that. This right here is your throttle linkage. Goes up there at the top. This is what allows you to adjust your throttle up and down. Yep. Okay. A bit more. Now, if you're wondering, this throttle cable, this throttle linkage is shot. So, I'm not too worried about it. I gotta replace it anyways. I was hung up, but I guess it's not. Could use some lube, like everything else on this thing. Okay. So now the only thing that we gotta do is on top. So here we go. Kind of get this carburetor off. Now, oh really? Come on now. Gotta love gravity. Whoever designed this knew that somebody had to have some patience. You only get about a quarter of a turn on it every time. So, yeah, it's fun. Hey, there is one on this bottom that is a nightmare to get to. It is horrible. Well, the governor spring's broken. That's good. Have to get one of those. I'm going to use a unicorn duct tape here. There we go. Unicorn duct tape. Oh, there we are. Okay. Right there. There it is. In all of its glory, there it is. We're going to go ahead and put these bolts back in here so we don't lose them. Some folks like putting theirs in a Ziploc bag or something of that sort. I prefer just to go ahead and put them back in the hole. Oh yeah. So yeah, these things right here are pretty much brittled out. Yeah, they're those rubber pads are dry rotted. So we're going to get you to the bench and take this carburetor off this tank. Okay, if we're going to have any chance of getting these screws off of here, we're going to have to use this impact. It's just a 1/4 inch impact. It's not nothing dangerous, but bam. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Whew, because I was kind of worried about that. Those suckers were stuck in there pretty hard. Ooh, sheared that puppy off. I'll have to deal with that one. Yep. 2. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, that thing's pretty brittle. Oh, yeah, there's that screw. So, we did break one off. Yeah. Let's just see. I'm going to try to tap on this thing a little bit. Oh, there it goes. Pop goes a weasel. Oh, what am I hung on here? Oh, some gasket. Okay. That gasket was shot anyway, so. Yeah. Nowhere near as bad as what I thought it was going to be. But it could definitely use a cleaning. I'm going to tell you what, guys. I wished that we had smell-o-vision. I wish y'all could smell this. This is, oh, wow, this is horrible. I mean, and actually, we might have actually lucked up on this one. What we're going to do is try to get you in here. Hang on. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to pour some WD-40 in this hole, and I'm going to see if this bowl will hold on to fluid. Let's just see. Can y'all see it in there? Yeah, you can see it. Yep. It's still in there. I don't see it dropping any. So guys, we got a good fuel bowl there, I think, with a little bit of some evapor rust. I believe it was to come in here with some evapor rust. I think we could take care of that. I think that we could probably rebuild this carburetor, make it look good again. Yeah, I think we're good there. That screw right there is going to be kind of a hard one. I don't know what we're going to do there. I'm going to have to kind of think about that one. Yeah. Yep. Back to the tiller. Okay, guys, we're back on the tiller again. I say what we do is let's just go ahead and let's just put a spark plug back in it. We're going to shoot a little carb cleaner in it and pull it over. It's only going to burn as long as you got what fuel you put in here. So, okay, there's that. Probably should have used a straw. Yeah, hindsight. What is it, 2020? Yep. Probably should have used a straw on that one. But it's evaporated, so we're good. Tighten that up. Tighten that up. Hey, tiller. We're going to try to fire it up with this exhaust blowing right me in the face. First time in, I don't know, a long time. 3, 2, 1. Nope. Holy smokes. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? It ran. It ran. 1975 when it was made. And it ran. Okay, guys. Well, it ran. You heard it pop off. That's all I care about hearing right now. Just want to know the engine will run. So let's just kind of go over what we learned today. We got a working motor. We got spark compression. And you put fuel in there and it'll run. We got a fuel tank that we're going to have to clean. We're going to have to do something with this pulley system back here because I'm missing some pulleys. I don't know. Yeah, there's going to be some research done on that. And, yeah, here we are. So we're going to have to put in a parts order. And we're going to need some parts. I know we're going to need a gasket kit for the carburetor. We're going to need new rubbers for the hose that goes from the crankshaft to the carburetor. We're going to have a muffler of some sort, some sort of a muffler. And we're going to have, I don't know, just to get this motor running. I guess that's about it. We really need a throttle cable, but we can work on that one a little bit later on, or we may go ahead and work on it now. I don't know, but I got to get a parts list together. We're going to order parts. I got to find parts. I have done some research on it, and I'm telling you, I'm coming up empty-handed. So I don't know. Yeah. Okay, well, so from that point, let me turn the camera off, and I'll go research parts and see what's going to happen. If you will notice in the photo, this item number, this serial number, has GIS at the beginning of it. Now, I remember I saw something on the internet one time how I believe that Gilson was the name brand of it, sold tillers through Montgomery Ward. GIS, and that just kind of clued me into thinking about that. So I looked into Gilson, and Lord and behold, there's a Gilson tiller that looks just like this one. So I looked some more, and I found this really cool website, and they gave me a lot of information about it. What I think has happened is Wizard had Gilson make this tiller, and they rebadged it as a Wizard. I can buy the parts through that company, and I have ordered parts, and they're on their way. Problem is, a couple of them are out of stock. They're saying it may be a couple months before they can get here. So as of right now, we're kind of at a standstill with this one. We're going to have to kind of kick back and see what we're going to do. We're going to move on in our next video we make. I'm going to take care of the tank. We're going to clean the engine up. We can buy a muffler for it. And hopefully some of the other parts that I've ordered will be in and we can put those on. The main thing we're waiting for is going to be the gasket kit for the carburetor. That's the main thing. It's on back order. I don't think they make them much anymore. So, yeah. But in the meantime, I have actually talked to the previous owner of this tiller. Well, not the owner, the owner's daughter. And I got her permission to do this because I want to make sure that I do it correctly. I like to name my projects. And I've been wondering what I was going to name this one. And I think it's fitting that the man that bought this tiller from the beginning, when he bought it brand new from the Western Auto, his name was Linwood. So I think without further ado, I think what we should call this is we'll call this Project Linwood. And I think that's a fitting tribute to this tiller. Now, y'all need to I want y'all's comments. Do y'all think that I should strip this thing down, restore it to its former glory? Or do you think I should just clean it up, put a clear coat on it to take care of the patina that's on it now, and use it like with that? I would like to hear y'all's thoughts. Hit me down in the comments, if you please, and let me know what you think about this tiller. What you think about this old iron, 1975 model. Remember, it's at least about 76 probably. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this video off. Okay, LSD Garage out.